I think it was in February 1954 that I received a telephone call from a lady who ran the Richmond Community Orchestra. And she asked me if I would agree to perform with them. And I said, of course I would love to. Not the urban, but I just love the idea of performing, as I still do. And she said, well, what work would you like to play? And I said, well, there's a snag. She said, I'm sorry. Well, I said, well, I don't know work for guitar and string orchestra. Oh, she said, well, would you come along and play some guitar solos? I said, okay, I would be quite happy to do that. So I let the matter rest, and 2 days later I had another telephone call, and it was from, it said it's Malcolm Arnold here, composer. I said, oh yes, I never knew. I hear you haven't got a piece for guitar and string orchestra. And I said, yes, that's true. At least I don't know of these. He said, well, I'd like to write you that piece for that, just that combination, for the concert that you were asked to give in a couple of months' time at Richmond. So I was delighted because I'd never played with a string orchestra before, and I was once a cellist, and I used to play in string orchestras, which I enjoyed immensely. And so he said, I don't know how to write for the thing. That's the problem. Well, it's not as hard as you might think, but you ought to know a few salient rules. You mustn't do it. And so he came round. I remember it was a Friday evening, and I showed him the guitar and his tuning and the different sounds you'd get on it and the range where it's happiest, all those sort of technical things. And he was he took it all in and was quiet and asked a couple of questions. And then he went away, he left, he went home. And the following Tuesday, a piece arrived in the post, which I was working out meant that he must have had a very hard working weekend. And indeed, when it turned up, it was beautifully written for the instrument. And I said to him, look, whatever you do, keep the string orchestra very quiet, because, you know, people have come to hear Mick Nook. And so, and when I saw the score, I could see it, it was beautifully scored, and the guitar, with a bit of luck, would most of the time dominate where he had to dominate. So that was the... Oh yes, and I remember the first performance was in Richmond in some little municipal hall. And the orchestra was there, Malcolm was there. And yes, I don't know whether any of you met Martin, but he was a very large man. And when he conducted occasionally with his feet. It was a bit like this. So he needed a lot of space. And unfortunately, because of this, there was no space for me to sit. So I then spotted an old grand piano that was on the floor of the hall, near on the stage. And the top of the grand piano came pretty much in line with the stage. So I said, I tell you what, if there's a strong couple of chaps that can play the piano, I'll sit on the piano. So I sat on the piano for the first performance, and there was plenty of room for Malcolm to conduct. And it was the first performance was a great success, and we all enjoyed it very much.